Yo, what is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the beta. It's the end of beta week here. We had a lot of fun, at least I did. I can't speak for you, but I had a blast playing the beta. And in this video, I really just wanted to talk about some of the critical, constructive criticism that I would walk away from the beta, you know, on my mind, things that I would express as points of concern. But let me just say that my beta experience was overwhelmingly positive. I loved the beta. I feel good about what it might indicate about the final product of the Destiny 2 release. Overwhelmingly positive. I am stoked for this game. I'm absolutely stoked for this game. I did have a couple of concerns, so just going into it, just know that I'm not being a negative Nancy. Like I said, highly positive. These are just a few of the takeaways that I would say are points of concern for me. Also, one thing that you want to keep on the foreground of your mind as we go into this video is that this was a beta. This was a beta. Yes, you may have been bored because it was just a couple of activities. Yes, you may have had hiccups. Yes, you may have had points of concern, but I've seen people already saying, I hate Destiny 2. You've not played Destiny 2. You've not played Destiny 2. You don't know that. You are more than welcome to proceed with caution. Absolutely. If you have concerns, don't buy the game. Wait until a month after the game's released, read some reviews, watch some gameplay, and then make an informed decision about how you want to spend your money. And if this game is worth your cash. Definitely proceed with caution. You are certainly free to not enjoy an activity. Absolutely so. But this was a beta. This wasn't Destiny 2. This was a beta. And confirmed to be an old build. This is outdated already. There have already been major changes to the game. So that's just one thing to keep in mind as we progress forward. Some of the things that I may raise as concerns, who knows, they may already be addressed, you know. This was an outdated build. It was just the most stable build. The beta was here to test servers and matchmaking systems, things like that. Not necessarily to give us a clear picture as to what the final product of the game is going to look like. So keep that in mind. Now, heading into my constructive criticism here, the very first thing I want to talk about is a bit of a hot topic. Just remember that when we have differences of opinion, you can express differences of opinion. Please do so. That's what the comment section is for. Just please make sure that you maintain your maturity as you do so. We don't need to insult people's dead grandmothers over differences of opinion over video games. So I get that this is a bit of a hot topic, at least as I've seen it on the forums and on Twitter. But super generation rate, let me talk about this. I'm not a fan of where it's at in the beta. I did not care for where it was in the beta. Let me talk about why. Destiny 1 has had its issues with ability spam and the overwhelming, you know, kind of rolling tide of supers can be really frustrating in Destiny 1. It's led to a lot of frustration and anger. It's ruined some experiences, yes. And that's not what we're after. That's not what I want. I don't want that again. But the super abilities in Destiny are they're very characteristic of what makes Destiny Destiny. It's one of the things that makes this game so great. The supers give Destiny character. They give you something to get excited about. When we're watching the Destiny 2 reveal event live, let me just tell you this: nobody clapped when a guy shot a primary weapon. Nobody clapped. Nobody got excited. The times that the crowd really came alive and lit up and applauded and screamed and yelled and hollered and got super pumped was when Zavala popped his supers. It was when Cade popped his supers. It was when Ikora Ray threw a Nova Bomb at a Cabal ship. It's when they saw Captain America chucking a shield for the first time. It's when the Arc Strider popped its super there on the tower, and we first saw Arc Strider for the very first time, and everybody went nuts. It's because these super abilities are what gives the game character. It's what gives your individual classes character. And most people, like, notice I'm saying most, not all, most people are picking their subclasses based on the super ability. They're saying, I want to throw shields, I want to chuck fiery swords down from the sky, I want to dance around with an arc pull in my hand, you know, doing cartwheels. Yeah, people are making their decisions about how they want to play this game based on the super abilities. Those are the things that give it character, give it life, make it unique. So we definitely want to feel rewarded when we use those super abilities. We want to use them. We want to have fun with them. But here's the thing about the beta. In the beta, I don't know about the final product, but in the beta at least, most people, almost everybody, is getting their supers right at the end of the match. So there's a minute left on the timer. Everybody's got their supers up suddenly, and it's just this this sort of clash where you're like, well, it's not necessarily like the most advantageous time to use a super, but the match is going to be over in a minute or 30 seconds. I gotta use my super. I want to use my super, right? So you're just gonna activate it because you're like, whoa, get this off before the match is over, and then it just ends up being the last, minute or two of the game is just a bunch of supers popping off and people going toe to toe with their supers. And the thing that stinks about that is you don't feel rewarded for using it most of the time. A lot of times it's like, well, I can't wait to use Arc Strider. I pop my super because I got 30 seconds left in the match, and you come around a corner right into a Fist of Havoc that shuts you down. You're like, well, I literally just wasted all this time on this match building up my super just for it to be shut down, and that's it. I wanted to play the beta so that I could play Arc Strider. I wanted to have some fun dancing around with my pole, and I don't feel like I got to do that. So it leads to a little bit of frustration, a bit of a letdown, very anticlimactic. The way that the supers are right now, that's what I would say, is a very anticlimactic. So I'm not saying that I want tons of supers, but everyone should have a guaranteed, everybody, regardless of how well you're playing, everyone should get a guaranteed super every match that doesn't end in a mercy at least. Everyone should get the chance to use their supers regardless of how well or terribly they are playing. That's my opinion. And it should come up soon enough that you actually get a bit of a chess match where you can kind of think and strategize. Okay, is this the right moment to use my super, or should I hang on to it? Most people aren't getting the option to hang on to it because they have 30 seconds left in the match. They want to use it. So definitely let people feel like they're being rewarded for using their super. Let them have fun with it. Give us our supers a little bit sooner so we can, strategize when we want to use it and how we're going to best use it. That's my opinion. I think we need to get those supers up just a little bit sooner. Everyone should get at least one guaranteed super use per game. Don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying everyone should get 3 supers, but everyone should have 1 super. So that's one of my major criticisms, one of my major points of concern moving forward. Those supers generated really slowly in PvE too, and I don't want that either. I'm going to be spending a lot of time in PvE in Destiny 2. And I want to be able to use my super ability because they're cool, they're fun. The next major point of concern for me is the recovery time. The recovery time in Destiny 2 beta was so abysmally slow that it was honestly really frustrating. Because of the recovery time, I felt like it dramatically slowed down my gameplay, and in some cases it even punished me for getting into a firefight to begin with. And you don't want to punish people for engaging a player. You don't want to do that. I would have these moments where it's really hard to outperform multiple people in the beta. Teamfire is such a big thing that if you're going 1v2, usually you lose. Almost every time you lose. But I'd have these moments where I'd make a great play to keep my streak alive. 1v2, I'd make a great play, and I'd get a couple of kills, and I feel really cool. Yeah, I got this great play, and then here I am with a sliver of health, and it takes so long to regenerate that health back that I have to go find a corner to hide in. But the chances of me getting away scot-free for that long amount of time, to not be seen on a map that size, the chances of me not being seen are really, really low. I would have a lot of engagements where I would win an engagement with a guy, I'd have a sliver of health, he'd actually respawn and have line of sight on me, and then he could gun me down before I could even regenerate my health. And now I'm in a firefight with a guy with an overshield because he just spawned, and I've got low health because I just killed him, right? That just does not seem right to me. You can't have the recovery time so low that you punish people for getting in engagements. You can't have the recovery time so low that that you force players to withdraw from the from the match. Essentially, you have to withdraw from team fire. I'm not even team firing. I'm not doing any good to my team just because my health is low, and I have to take so much time to go recover it. Now, in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about seconds here. But seconds add up, and seconds matter, and seconds evoke feelings. The more seconds that I have to spend inactive, the more frustrated I'm going to get. It's slowing me down. It's slowing down my gameplay, and it's making my experience slower. That's what we don't like. So I think the recovery time needs to be slightly adjusted. Shave some seconds off of that. Seconds will go a long way to improving the player experience, in my opinion. The last major thing I want to talk about is trades. I had a lot of stupid trades in the beta. I had a lot of them. Or I'd kill a guy, and I'd turn to walk away, and then I'd get hit with his melee. And I'm like, his body was on the ground. You know, the guy was respawning when his melee hit me. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I would have these stupid delays where I'd get a kill and I'd turn to walk away and then I'd die from a guy's melee, and that just didn't make sense to me. And that happened a lot. There were a lot of trades, even a lot of deaths behind cover, where you'd get behind cover and then you die. And I was really hoping that the new matchmaking system in Destiny 2 would limit that considerably, that we wouldn't see that kind of thing as much. But I'm a little concerned that I saw a lot of it. I really did see a lot of it. And that's a bit of a point of concern for me. So those are my 3 major criticisms. I've got some other ones. You know, I would say linear fusion. Well, I can't say linear fusion suck. I can say that the one that we got sucked. It was terrible. It didn't feel like a power weapon. It had way too much flinch to be a power weapon. In fact, in a game that's teamfire oriented, that gun is pretty abysmal, especially when you compare it to fusion rifles and shotguns. Fusion rifle could be toned down just a smidge. It became the only choice, you know, for the competitive lobbies. Sniping didn't really have too much of a place in the beta. It could have been the map design and the way that they were laid out. I just didn't favor it. You could do well with a sniper rifle, but it was nowhere near your most competitive option. So it needs to be a little bit of a balance between the power weapons. Hit registration could be a little bit crispier, especially with supers. The Sentinel super, sometimes you'd bash someone with a shield and make the sound, give you a vibration in your controller, and not register any damage at all. Nova Bomb was terribly slow. It was abysmally slow. Nova Bomb should be addressed because it's such a weak super right now. The neutral game on the Voidwalker is really good, but the Nova Bomb was just absolutely terrible. And the last thing I might say is just increase the control respawn timer a smidge. Give players a tangible advantage to a team wipe. As it is, the respawn timers are quick enough that people just keep coming. You don't have time to sort of capitalize on a team wipe, and I'd love to see in a team fire oriented game, you should really be rewarded for wiping a team. You should be able to get some map control through that, so I'd love to see that as well. But those are some of my criticisms. Again, these are constructive. These are for the betterment of the game from my standpoint, my opinion. From what I saw, like I already said, overwhelmingly positive experience with the beta. I loved it. I'm very excited about this game, so I don't want to come off as a negative Nancy. There's just a few of my concerns, and feel free to leave some feedback in the comment section as to what your concerns are, and if you agree with me. If you don't agree with me, you're more than welcome to not agree with me. That's totally fine. But hopefully I'll catch you all in the Crucible. Bye.